Okay, YouTube. Today I am fixing my air conditioning on my truck. So I did an engine install, and this is what I did. When I was installing my air conditioning compressor down there, what happened was I busted my low pressure air conditioning hose. So now I'm gonna have to replace this and then charge it up with freon. And there's a way to do this without breaking the bank. Basically, you have to have air conditioning tools and recovery machine to pull a 0 psi on the system, and that's what you have to have. Other than that, after you do that, then you'll just have to charge up the system. And so I happen to have all those tools because I do air conditioning as well. So you can see there, that's the compressor, that's the air conditioning compressor there. And being that this thing's already broken here, I'm just going to go here. Okay, I don't know if you can see. Okay, go there and loosen that, and this whole thing will come out. This whole low pressure hose will come out. But in order to get to that, you have to remove the intake here. Okay, and so that you can gain access to that thing right there. Okay, so that's what we have to do. So let's begin taking this whole unit here out so that we can have space to work on taking out that little clip right there. Okay, so then what it is you have to buy a hose like this. Okay, and I got this from eBay for 60 bucks. It's made by Denso. So we'll see what happens. Okay guys, so update. So to take this little coupling off, okay, you have to use a Toyota provided tool, which I don't have time to go and buy, so I improvised. And I improvised this tool out of nails. I sharpened them so that they will fit these two tiny little holes here. If you look at here, I've already got it open just right now, okay? And this is how you remove the coupling. Okay, you see that those two little holes right here? So what you do is you find little you can either go buy a tool, or you can make your own little sharpened thingy like this and push it into here. Okay, and you'll need to use two of them. Push into here, and then use a little flat screwdriver and slowly pry the edge here, and it'll pop out. Okay, and that's how it looks like. So that's how I do this. Desperate time calls for desperate measure, and desperate measure calls for creativities. Okay, and so that's what I did. I sharpened the end. It's pretty sharp right now, so that way it'll fit those two holes. Okay, so once that's done, this right here should come off, and let me put this on hold. Okay guys, so now that I have my hands free, all you do is pull this out. There you go. Okay, so that's out, and if you look at here, I got both ends. Okay, make sure that nothing's falling into here, this little tube here, because it needs to be clean. Okay, so let's go get the other hose. Okay guys, I don't know if you could see this. Okay, there it is. But behind this bulb is the head of the low pressure hose. It's right here. Okay, and I'm going to take this out, right? So I won't fast forward this. I'm doing this so that you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully my camera doesn't move, and I'm so sorry. I have to possibly not bump, but there, get in the way of the camera angle. Okay, make sure that's the right head. Okay. Alright. There you go. There. As you can see here, that's where it broke off. Okay. Okay guys, so as you can see here, this is the old head right here. Okay. And as you can see, it was torn off here. This is the new head. Okay. And as you can see, it's really nicely made here. And let's see, they match. Okay, they're identical. Okay, so I'm going to install this. And the installation is just reverse of it's just the reverse of taking that head out. So I won't do that part for you. If you get to this part, you'll know what to do. So anyway, I'd say try not to ruin this O-ring here when you're installing, so that way you won't get a leak from here. Okay, so that's that. Let me install this, and then after that I'll install the other end. Okay guys, so I got this thing installed in here, and that's how it looks like. You can see the nut right there. Okay, and well, anywho, it goes from there to here. Okay, it swings over this way and back to that tube, and so that's where we are going to be plunging this thing into this little tube right here. Okay, see the end here? It's made for that. See, it's made for this. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Okay, so let's take off the protective little nipple here. Okay, and then what we do here is we plunge this back in here. Okay, once that's done, we take this little doodad here, the coupling here. Okay, snap it back in, and we're good. It's not that hard. It's pretty easy, guys. So then what we do next is we bolt this thing back in, and then the fun part about this is we're going to pull a vacuum on it. And this is the part where you have to have the vacuum machine or recovery machine. Well, we're not going to recover. The reason is because basically when I broke that thing, all of the freon came loose. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pull a vacuum. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's done. So I'm gonna go get my air conditioning stuff, and we're gonna pull a vacuum. Well, actually, I have to install this so I can start the engine. Okay, well, you know what? We could pull the vacuum at the same time install this. Okay. Okay, guys, so that's my air conditioning gauge there, and that's my vacuum machine. And so you notice that these gauges right here, they're not made for automotive. So what I did was I ended up buying a couple of these adapters from eBay. They're about $6 to $8. Okay, they're like that. So what you need to do is you need to actually adapt them onto your hose here. Okay. I don't know if you can see. What you do is you just adapt this into here, and we are pretty solid. Okay. You don't want to use a wrench to tighten these, because when you use a wrench, you kind of mess up the copper threading in there. Okay, so you don't want to do that. Okay. But with this, I also do HVAC, so this is what I have. Okay, that's good enough. And the adapter. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to be we're going to be installing the wires, not wires, but the hoses here onto the high and low side. But before we do that, let me show you what I'm doing. The yellow hose here goes to the vacuum end of this bad boy here. So I broke my handle here on a job. I dropped this machine and I broke the handle. I just need to go buy a new machine, go buy a handle part to make it work to carry. It still works. Okay, so here we're gonna put this. Blue is low pressure, red is high pressure. And if you need me to show you how to do that, then this job is probably a little bit too complicated for you to do. So I'm gonna go plug this into the high and low pressure side of those hoses, and I'm gonna pull a vacuum. Okay, so here we have the high pressure side plugged in. Okay, and here we have the low pressure side plugged in. Okay, so then this is what we're gonna do. We are going to turn on the machine. Okay. So with that thing going on, we're going to check our vacuum here. It should be at 0 psid. It's going to go into negative. Okay, so it's at 0 psid. We're going to close the valve and let the vacuum sit. Okay. So basically what we're looking for, guys, is we're looking to see whether or not this stays at 0. If this doesn't stay at 0 and it comes back up, or this, then we have a problem and we have a leak. Okay, so let's pull a little bit more vacuum here. And this, I'm pulling vacuum on the high side, making sure that there's no moisture in it. Okay, so both are at 0 right now, guys. So we're gonna wait for about 10-15 minutes for it to go, for it to see if there's any leak. Okay, if this thing comes up above 0, then there's a leak. So we'll be back. While we're waiting for this, I'm going to install all the intake plumbing and the air filter so that we don't kill time. Okay guys, so it's been long enough, and as you can see here, there's nothing in here. Okay, what I meant by nothing in there is it's 0 psid. So far it hasn't come up, so that tells me that as far as vacuum wise, there's no leak. Ideally, you want to put nitrogen in there in the system so that you have some kind of a pressure to see if you have a leak under pressure. So this is telling me that there's no leak under vacuum. So I'm going to take it as it is with a grain of salt that this thing is sealed. Okay, so now I'm going to go and get my oil and get my freon. Okay, and the reason why I'm putting oil in here is because, first of all, when that thing exploded, it leaked some oil, and so that's why I have to pump oil in there. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so I am putting in PAG 46. This is for R134A oil charge. The reason why I'm doing this is because when I broke that line, oil came out. So this is a 3-ounce can. So I'm going to put a couple shots of oil in here into the system, so that at least I get some sort of a lubrication on my air compressor. And I have this hose right here that I'm going to pump a couple shots into. Okay, this goes into the low side. Okay guys, so I got this thing hooked up. I pumped a couple shots of oil into the system here, and then I re-vacuumed the system back to 0. And as you can see, they are at 0. They haven't budged. So that's the high pressure side. Here's the low pressure side. And if you're wondering how much oil or how much freon you should put in your car, this little decal right here says 1.43 pounds. So right now my system is empty, no refrigeration, no freon in there. So because of that, if you come over here, I have my little doodad machine here, okay, to measure the freon. This is R134A, okay, and okay, so I'm gonna zero this out to 0. So I'm gonna start pumping freon into there. Okay, once there's some pressure in there, I'm gonna start the engine and let the engine suck in the freon. But let me zero this. I have to plumb this line. See, I have not opened the valve here yet, so I have to plumb this line so that it'll be free of freon. Free of air. Okay, so this is what I have to do, just in case you want to see what I'm doing. This is how I plumb the line. See, these valves are closed. So when I turn on, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this valve. So that valve is open. Okay. So then right now there's just air in this line, right? So to plumb this line, this is what you do. There you go. See, I just plumbed it. Okay. So now it's full of freon. So gotta go get my keys. So what I'm going to do, okay, is I'm going to pump half a pound into there. Okay, so what you want to do is you always want to pump freon into the low side, not the high side. Well, for right now I could do the high side because there's nothing in there, the engine's not on. Okay guys, so this is what I did. I pumped in 7.6 ounce in there. So that's half of the requirement. And so I'm going to start the engine and pump some more freon in there. Okay. Okay folks, so right now my little doodad here is telling me that it is at 14.6 ounce. Okay. The targeted freon is supposed to be 1.43 pounds. Okay, maybe basically 1 pound and 43 ounce. So 1 pound and 0.43 ounce. So let me show you how this thing is coming along. So right now my little meter there is reading 44.6 pound, and it's going colder and colder, so that's good for me. And you should be reading about 40 degrees from the evaporator, so that tells me that this is doing great. And let me show you how to pump freon into it. You never want to pump from the high side, because this is where the compressor pumps out the freon into the evaporator, which is inside. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to pump freon into the low side so that the compressor can suck in the freon, and that's what you want to do. You want to pump a couple shot in there. See, pumping a couple shot in there makes it 1 pound. Okay, so we need 0.43 ounces to go. So I'm going to pump a couple more, and so up a little bit high. So we're going to stop at this point. So this is good. It's 1.6 already. That's a little bit high, but I'm going to let out some of the freon later to balance it out. So right now we are good, and I'll show you the dryer filter here. Okay, this is the dryer filter right here, and there's no bubbles, and that tells me that the system is running good. You're not supposed to have bubbles in there. If you have bubbles in there, there's a chance that there's air inside or not enough freon. And so it's running great. It's running great, and it is reading 44.4, and it's going down. Okay, so that's good. That we'll call it a day. Job well done.